Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy J-Dub, the bad boy nerd. How's everyone going tonight? It's going to be a big show. I'll tell you right now. It's going to be a big show. I'm very excited. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I got a lot of stuff lined up tonight. But there's so much information, we're going to breeze right through it. My Little Pony. All right, hey, let's talk about it. My Little Pony. It was a shot in the dark 5 weeks ago. I got a little bit of backlash. I got all the different comments. People were saying it was a crazy pick. People were saying, who cares? Some people were saying it's a bold pick. Some people just believed in it and it's like, hey, whatever you say, we're going to give it a try. Turns out I was a little bit right. Just a little bit right. You know what? Let me say this. I just make the list. All right. I just make the list. I don't control the market. I put out this top 10 list. I let it do what it do. Some hit. Some are home runs. Some, I knock them out of the park. But it's fun to do the list. If you follow the show, what do I always say? I do an FOC list for fun. It's a way to keep track of all the books coming out. As a matter of fact, right before the show started, somebody hit me up and they told me about a book, some stuff coming out at SDCC. So, there's stuff coming down the pipeline constantly. This, when I do these FOC lists, it's always changing, even up to the last minute. Shout out to everybody that's watching live. Who made it in tonight? Oh, Toom, what's going on? Toom, hey, Toom's a very cool guy. Toom, he might pop up on the show, but you should check out his stuff on Instagram. This guy does original artwork. Toom, hey man, tell me in the comments, are you writing these books you're making, these comic books? Are you like the writer and artist? Because your stuff is wild, dude. He does exclusive one-of-one books. That's pretty crazy. Yo, what's up, Tall Dan? What's going on, man? Good to have you here. Yeah, he said, I believe, even told my... Yeah, so it's funny because I get all the feedback on different books, and rightfully so. It's a public forum, so, everyone has their commentary. And trust me, all the comments, I'm good with all of them, all right? I'm good with all the different comments. But, guys, there's one thing I want to point out. Besides the pretty pictures, when I put up the top 10 list, do y'all read the notes that I put on my page? Do you actually read the notes? All right. I'm gonna read the notes for My Little Pony. It just sounds funny when I say it. God, where are those notes at? The reason I bring it up is because when I do recommendations for books, I always explain why I picked the book. So it's not like a shot in the dark. Someone said, lucky pick. No, it's not. If I had one good pick, it would be luck. I've had 20 home run picks this year. But I always put the notes for why I make a pick. And, I explained in full detail why My Little Pony was number one that week. Special issue that deals with an in real life subject matter, skin condition, vitiligo, and self-esteem. My Little Pony usually print runs are around 2,000 or less. So the 1-in-10 ratio is the main play. Also, I think cover B will be a ghost. Well, it turns out the My Little Pony fandom was very, very hardcore about this particular issue. So they sold lots of copies. And, we're going to talk about that. Oh, Toom, you said they're just covers. Okay. See, I thought you were, dude, I thought you were a comic book machine. I'm like, yo, this guy is writing entire comic, but the covers are cool. It's actually you and another guy, Astro Wizard. You guys do phenomenal covers. Chef's kiss to those covers. Yeah, they're just covers that happen. Oh, I got it. You said cover B selling a few shit on shelf. So yeah, again, Tall Dan. I just do the list, man. I've seen. I have. Of course, I have naysayers and detractors, but that's fine. I honestly don't care. But someone's like, "Oh, I can't believe this is selling for $70. Why?" Dude, I don't know. Like, don't screenshot me. I just make the list, and then the market kind of reacts how it reacts. I don't control the market. So yeah, that book, the highest sale of the My Little Pony, ended up selling for $70. As a matter of fact, 2 copies. There were 2 different sales that went for $70. You guys want to know what I think about it? I think that particular issue has staying power. Oh, let me tell you guys. Did anyone else read it besides me? Did anybody else read it? So there was actually 3 first appearances in that book. It was, and trust me, I'm not an expert on My Little Pony. I'm learning about this just as much as you guys. I actually read the book, did a lot of research on like equestria.net, some Ponypedia, Wikipedia or something. Anyway, so there were actually 3 first appearances in this book. So like the My Little Pony verse, and I'm not going to spend more time. This is the last time you're going to hear me say My Little Pony with this next paragraph, okay? So it's divided between ponies, unicorns. It's lorded over by a goddess, and then like zebras. And what's funny is within that world, there's like classes, almost like division. So it's not all like rainbows and happy fun time. Like the ponies have a little friction because, some ponies are more magical than others. They have a hierarchy and all kind of funny pony shit. So anyway, I read the book. It turned out there was like another new pony family of zebras, and they think of zebras as kind of different people, the way humans regard each other. So yeah, there's this whole thing with ponies, and I was like, holy shit, what did I get myself into? And then I calmly saw myself out of that. I don't even want to say pony again, but with that being said, yeah, Astro Wizard is a great dude. With that being said, we're going to do something real quick. We're going to do a market update, guys. So check this out. How many guys in the listening audience right now live, how many of you are like following me on Instagram and you follow my posts and my stories when I put the updates up? So what I like to do is, and what I'm going to do right now, when I put out the top 10 list, usually there's a book or 2 that really, really hit. All right. And Dr. Paul, who's usually a guest, makes a guest appearance on my show, kind of like a superhero makes a guest appearance in a comic book story. Dr. Paul, who's an actual PhD, he has a doctorate in structural engineering or something, but he's also very, very keen with like financials and stuff like that. So he kind of validates everything I'm doing. And one thing he identified is the ROI on the list that I do. So my lists have a very strong return on investment with these different picks. So what I started doing is I started tracking the performance, and I screenshot the highest sale price of each book if they sell by a lot. And I actually have a record of all the highest selling books. Can you guys guess, before I tell you, think about all the books I've recommended. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you already know this answer. What is the highest performing comic book of all comic books in 2023? DC, Marvel, Image, Boom, IDW, Archie. If anyone thinks you know the answer, and I've said it several times, what is the highest performing book of 2023 thus far? Put it in the comments, and I'm going to get this ready, and we're going to have some fun with this list. But put in the comments, what of all the books that I've recommended, what has been the highest performing book from the FOC Top 10 list? And it's not even close. That's what's crazy. It's like far and away the biggest performing book of all comic books. It's crazy. Shout out to Dr. Russell. Hey, we got everyone that's in here. Go ahead and hit the like button. Everything helps out. But yeah, if you know what the answer is, think about the highest performing books. Don't try to Google it. You can't Google it. Don't try to look it up on my page. If you've been following me on Instagram, you might know the answer. But I just want to see the guys in the comments, in the trenches, if you know which has been the highest performing book. Yeah, pretty new to yourself. So no. Yeah, I actually said it. I said it on my Instagram page quite a few times. No, John, it's not Quest of the Jedi. That's actually not even one of the biggest. It's kind of in the middle ground, but that's a good guess. Yeah. Hello, chat to all the chat humans. Tall Dan got it. Yeah. It's actually Dungeons and Dragons. Can you believe that? Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. I recommended that. That was one of the first FOC lists that I did way back in January at the beginning of the year. Number 1:10 ratio. And I said, paraphrasing, the classic cartoon, first time in official comic book format, nostalgia, blah, 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 small print run. It's going to be hard to get to cover Bs. It's going to be very hard to track down a high grade 1:10 ratio. I was absolutely right about that. Let's check this out, guys. You know what? Let's do it like this. I think you guys are going to enjoy this list. We're going to do a quick market update. These are all the books that were in my FOC top. These aren't even all of them. These are just some of the books. I picked out about 12 books of all the books that were the highest performing. And we're going to show you exactly, what do you say? Damn, I have the cover A, but just bought because, you know what, Toom? It's funny because cover B, they didn't announce it, but cover B turned out to be a connecting variant. It's actually in my claim sale page. If anyone wants the whole set, if you can find those. I went back to my store to get more cover Bs. They're all gone. And all the ones that were high grade, people went and snatched them up. So it's a bunch of damaged copies. But yeah, cover B was actually a connecting variant that they didn't announce. And it makes a great, excellent mural. Let's do this. Let's do a screen share. Oh my God. I don't even have these labeled. I'm going to show you guys the performances of some of the top books. And when I show you these books, you're going to see some and be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. All right, looks like we're going to do these randomly because these are not labeled, dear God. So check this out. Here we go. Let's start with, oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Here's a good one right here. There we go. Let's get that blown up. All right, so this one right here, if you guys remembered, I was saying that Yoda number 6, the 1:25 Okazaki variant. All right. I've been very, very bullish on Okazaki, and that name is going to come up a lot more. Well, it's going to come up a couple more times. Yeah, if you guys, if you follow me online, you know that I said this is one of my high picks, Yoda number 6, the 1:25 Okazaki variant. Try to get the variants at ratio price 1:25. Yes, you could have got it at $25 early. At the most you paid was $30. Highest price selling on eBay was $110, which gave it a 440% return on investment. 440% return. I mean, you guys tell me if you consider that good or not. And I can tell you right now, that was one of the lowest performing books on this list. Here's another one. that I had recommended in the FOC Top 10. And if you guys have these books, if you've been keeping track of them, you can let me know. Strange Academy Finals, number 6. All right. You guys know I'm a big Strange Academy fan. If there's a book that comes out, like one that's about to come out, I always say, yeah, go after it. Strange Academy rarely has ratio covers. They usually have a cover A, a cover B, and a cover C. Scotty Young, for whatever reason, did the 1 in 25 variant. And I said in my FOC list, it's rare that they do a 1 in 25 variant. Highest price that they sold online for a raw copy, $130. They gave it a 520% return on investment. That is pretty damn healthy, if you tell me. Yeah, and you know, let me know if you guys actually have any of these books, because most of them, like I say, I'll always put my money where my list is. So a lot of these books, I have a copy in my collection. All right, someone did mention John Barry actually mentioned Star Wars Quest of Jedi, but actually we can go back further than that. This is one I recommended. Shout out to JT Comic Books. I don't know if he's watching live, but JT Comic Books, my man JT is out in Houston. I met up with JT. If you guys think Dr. Paul's Dr. Muscle Dude, that dude is jacked. I actually went out to Houston and I met up with him and we hung out. We was doing like a comic book dollar bin, bargain bin hunting together. I drove out to Houston from Austin, and a lot of the Houston stores were having a half off sale. And I went out there. He found a bunch of key books. I found a bunch of key books. But JT left a comment and he was like, yeah, man, you know, the Star Wars fans drive the market. They're the ones that drive the price up. Yeah. Dude, when did the original Star Wars come out? 1977. So that's almost a 50-year legacy. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there. This was one of my recommendations too. Star Wars High Republic, The Blade. For all you Star Wars fans out there, there's something called the Barash vow. You're looking at her. That's Barash. That's Barash right there. She was a former Jedi. She took a vow. This is her first cover appearance. It's an amazing 1 in 25 ratio. Got them. You could get them at about $25 to $30. The highest price they sold at online was $150. $150, folks. 600% return. Again, I just make the list. I don't control the market, so I don't go into this thinking like, yeah, you know, this is going to sell for 100. I don't know that. All right, I just make the list, but I know that was a particular important issue, so that's why I made my top 10 list earlier in the year. Here's another one. I think you guys are going to like this one. This one right here. This was a really good one. Ambassadors. This one made my list, my top 10 list a few months ago. All right. And I was saying that, hey, you know, Mark Miller. For those who don't know, Mark Miller, he has his own division at Netflix. He basically has a blank check to turn his books into adaptations. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I read an article sometime last year, maybe on CBR or something. And when I heard that, I started really paying attention to Mark Miller books. So when he dropped Ambassadors #1, again, $4 book. These were actually selling for $25 a piece. Issue #1. But here, let me show you guys something else. Issue #1 has a 625% return, 625% return. But what's really crazy is this one right here. For some reason, people really like issue #2. Don't ask me. I have no idea. I don't know why. But issue #2 has been selling at the peak. It was selling for $30. And Ambassadors was sitting on a shelf, just near mint copies sitting on the shelf. But I think people started catching on to, what Mark Miller's doing. Now, mind you, I do my list like I'm going to do tonight's list. I do my list 4 weeks to 5 weeks in advance. So if you're following me, if you're watching this show and you follow me on Instagram, I'm putting out information way ahead. I have no idea how it's going to perform, right? So I don't know why people really liked issue number 2, but look, $4 book selling for $30, that's a 750% return. That is insane. All right, that's insane. There's no way I could have predicted that. But yeah, I flipped a few copies myself because I had like 5 or 6 copies because I bought them to them. But I mean, guys, this just keeps going. You said to him, you said you got in too late. Well, better late than never. I will quote June Lovin. Oh, shout out to June Lovin. I love her. She's awesome. They're like this couple, and they make some pretty funny like skits on Instagram. June Lovin said she called me the FOC GOAT. I'll never say I'm the GOAT of FOC. I don't even think there's such a thing as that. Like I said, I just put the list out. The market does what it does. I appreciate everyone that follows me, gives me positive feedback. I have fun doing this regardless, all right? But let's just get right to it. Listen, My Little Pony, how about it? How about that? Honestly, how about that? Yeah, when I put out the list, somebody, I forgot who it was, someone on Instagram, they took my advice. They went and bought a copy or two. They found it for $8. Someone sold it for $8. Peak sale as of 2 days ago, $70 for a near mint copy online, $70. 875% return on your investment. See, the thing is, I don't track all the book's performances. I only track the ones that really do major numbers because there's no reason to track everything. You should always collect what you love, buy what you love, and you should always read your books. But every once in a while, yeah, there's a book that just goes through the roof, right? Yeah, so I think you guys saw my post on Instagram today. When this book was announced, I went online and I found as many copies as I could under $10. I actually had 6 copies of this. I sold a few, and I still have 4 left. I think these have long-term potential. I think they do. The story's not going anywhere. All right, it's a brand new character. So yeah, there's that. Who guessed it right and said that the highest performing book of this year? Because I'm going to tell you who was a very close second. My Little Pony with an 875% return. It's not even close to the highest performing book. That's what's crazy. He said series was a good read. Happy to have. Oh, dude, Ambassadors was that is an awesome series. You guys should actually read it. As a matter of fact, one of my top picks, it was either number 1 or number 2. I'll pull it up here in a second. You guys should definitely check out The Hunger and the Dusk. Phenomenal, but we'll get more into that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Thank you for 11 people watching. Thank you guys for watching me live. I think I do a pretty unique show because I don't actually watch shows. I don't watch any other shows. And I do it for a reason, because I don't want to get like a cross-pollination with someone else. I just want mine to be my own thing. So I don't know. I'm not aware of who's doing what out there. I don't look at other lists or anything. But I'll tell you what, if you're a Star Wars fan, you already got this anyways, if you're Dr. Afro. But this was This wasn't even one of my top picks. I think this was like pick number 5 or 6. But I did say, I said it might have a first cameo appearance of a brand new character, Star Weird. And I specifically highlighted the Marquez variant featuring Isla Sakura. Lo and behold, the crazy thing about the market, people didn't really go crazy about the main cover. People really wanted this gorgeous Marquez variant. This was selling even a few days ago, selling for $20 to $25. 625% return on your investment. That's if you bought it off the shelf. If you did an early, all right, if you did an early pre-order, usually you could save 30%. You're only paying around $3 for a book. If you take those books, if a book hits and you're selling it for $25 off the shelf, 625%. Guys, there's a reason why I do this return on investment. Because, sometimes people can wave things off. Sometimes people can wave it off and be like, oh, yeah, you got lucky, you found a book, blah, blah. But there's something about when you put real numbers, when you put a real number next to that book, it becomes real. Now you're like, oh shit, like this is serious. Some people, not saying names because names don't matter, but some people just kind of regard me as, sometimes he gets lucky, whatever. It's kind of kitschy, it's kind of corny. Okay, all right, corny. Let's look at some more corny stuff. How about that? Since some people think I'm corny, how about one of my number 7? I think this was pick number 7 when I picked it. All right, so we're going back about 4 months. This was my number 7 pick on my FOC Top 10. And let's see how this performed. So the big news was Humberto Ramos doing a secret spoiler. And it must have been 4 or 5 months ago. I said, yeah, I love Ramos because he does Strange Academy. So I was like, whatever his spoiler is, I'm in. I actually ordered 10 copies. If you guys remember the show, I did a follow-up show. And I said shenanigans. That was like a funny episode. I was talking about shenanigans because for some reason stores couldn't find their copies or they got shorted. There was this big old thing where everybody didn't get their Spider-Man 7s spoiler variants, right? $70. Copies were going for up to $70 that week. New Comic Book Day Wednesday, they started selling for $30, $35. By that weekend, they were up to $70. A $4 book, $70, $1,750. So, if you think a 1,750% return on if you think that's corny, all right, you don't have to follow my list. That's fine. I don't mind. But I did double down. The show following that, I said, hey, they just announced a second print, and I doubled down on that. Where's my second print at? Now the second print actually didn't even perform as good as the first print because the second print was going for $25 because there's a ratio variant. So it only had a 500% return for the second print, which turned out to be a virgin variant. So yeah, that only had a 500% return. But I even said, yeah, the second print, I personally think the second print variant is the one to own. I believe in the character Spider-Boy. I love the energy behind him. Some people might think, yeah, he's a little bit annoying. There's about 100 different Spider-Verse characters. I think Bailey is my favorite one. Curious to know what you guys think of the Spider-Boy character. And I'm not talking about the amalgam Spider-Boy. I don't count amalgam because they didn't develop the character. All right. I don't count him. But no, Bailey Spider Boy. I personally like the character. I think he's great. It's a lot of fun. And okay, here we go. This was my number 2 pick. Shout out to my homeboy Mo, MA3. We was talking about this book, and he's like, so I mentioned that I'm a huge fan of Okazaki. And I was saying that, I was all in. They announced this book 3 months ago, and there was no cover art for it. And the homie on Instagram, MA3 Comics, he's like, hey man, they're doing a Okazaki variant. And that was it. I was like, say less. I went and ordered 5 copies. Close to ratio, 125 ratio. I got them pretty close to $25. Had no idea what the cover looked like. The cover came out later. I was like, all right, cool. That's wild. $25. Top price sold online, $225. Yep. $225 for a raw copy. Not going to lie, I flipped all of mine except for one. All right. I didn't get $225. I actually I tried to sell some to you guys on Instagram for like $120. That got snatched up immediately. The other ones I flipped online, closer to $200, 750% return. And yeah, guys, you could have absolutely found this book. When I put the list out, this book was selling for $30 or $35 online. So it wasn't like out of reach. You could have snatched up 1, 2, 3 copies. I got 5. I spent like $100 and something, bought like 5 copies. I think I did good. But again, people were going crazy wondering why this book was selling so good. Look, man, I don't know. I just make the list, okay? I just make the list. I don't control the market. I just make the list, and they do what they do. But yeah, the Okazaki, that's going to be something that's coming up. And as was pointed out, this was pointed out by one of the listeners here, Tall Dan. Shout out to Tall Dan. We're always talking. Yes. Even right now, the highest performing book in the entire market, all right, in the entire market of 2023 is none other. Oh, hold on. Let me do it this way. Nope, take that off. I got to do it this way because check it out. When I first did this list, and this was my number 1 pick, all right, I said, if you order from like a pool box or your local comic shop, sometimes they'll just throw in, because this is a 1 in 10 variant from IDW. Most shops don't even bother. And anyone can vouch. Anyone who does this can vouch. Most shops don't even bother pricing a 1 in 10, especially from IDW. They don't really care. They just throw it on the shelf. I found some My Little Pony 1 in 10s on the shelf, like today, just sitting on the shelf. They don't care, right? I said, if you order it online at ratio $10, okay, easy to get, highest sell on eBay, and I got the screenshot, $90. That's the sale price, and people are actually commanding. There's a lot of people that want like 100, 125. They just don't want to come up off of it, especially if it's a very high grade raw copy. 9.8 pre-sales are going for, I think, up to $300. Raw sold for $90. 1,800% return on your investment if you paid $10. Or if you did like I did, and sometimes do, if you did a pull box deal where you buy, a certain amount of copies and they throw it in for you, you're basically getting that at retail cover price of $4. They throw in a 1 in 10 at cover price, and then it gets crazy. So you got a 1 in 10 book that you got at $4. If you're, if you're a hustler and you hustled it online, maybe got a great deal, highest price selling point, $90. That's a 2,250% return on your investment. If anyone in here is like into finances or, commercial real estate, property flipping, let me know what other investment vehicle returns this much on your investment or on your equity as the books in my top 10 FOC top 10 list. If you could beat that, by all means, tell me, because I would like to know. You could take a $4 book, flip it for 25, 30, 100, 225. Okay, $4 book, flip it for $90. All right, 25 book for 225. If you can find something that beats that, let me know. That's not even why I do this list. I do the list for fun. So with that being said, let's have fun. Let's do tonight's list. All right, let me see. Let me get a drum roll here. Oh, yeah, I'm flying solo tonight. So, yeah, you guys, you can talk to me. Shit. I don't think Dr. Paul can make it tonight, so I'm flying solo, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. But, yeah, let's get this going. Let's have fun. All right, here we go. Here goes tonight's, what did you say? What? Toom? You said you want this one. What do you want, Toom? Hey, check out. You said you had it in your cart after your show. You didn't pull the trigger, regretting it. Which book was that? Which book did you not? Hey, man, listen. I always say, this is one thing I say. These aren't buy recommendations per se. It's kind of letting you know of all the books that are coming out on a weekly basis. I just kind of identified 10 books that I think you should pre-order. Final order cutoff. These are 10 books I think you should pre-order. Some books make it on the shelf. A lot of times books don't. So when I'm curating this top 10 list, these aren't books I'm saying, go buy these, don't buy anything else. These are books that I'm saying, if you want a better chance of getting this book, I think you should pre-order these 10 books. Oh, dude. Yikes. Yeah, man. Yeah. And of course, no one knew it was going to go crazy. I kind of did. But I didn't know it was going to go 225 crazy like that. So I totally understand. Can't hold that against you. But check it out. Let's start with tonight's list, and let's see where we end up. Who's excited? I'm excited. So the cover's right up your alley. I could have sold you one for $120, which is kind of low now. It's kind of low. But anyway, let's look at tonight's list, starting at number 10. Is anyone familiar with the Pet Avengers? Pet Avengers is led by one Lockjaw, and Marvel Unleashed is coming out with a new version of the Pet Avengers. Now, why would I put Pet Avengers on my top 10 list? Well, a lot of people like animals, a lot of people like pets. I was doing my research. A lot of the superhero pets are considered key issues, and they do go for a premium. People like to collect the first appearance of key animals like Lockjaw and Throg. Is it Throg? What's the Thor frog's name? Is it Throg? Throg, something like that. Lucky the Pizza Dog. Like, people are spending like $30, $40 for his first appearance. Hawkeye #1. Lucky the Pizza Dog. The Merkin Cat. People love that one as well. I don't even think, is he in the comic books yet? I'm not sure. Marvel's Unleashed introduces a new dog named D-Dog. He's like this new superhero dog. I think I got a picture of D-Dog. Did I get a picture of D-Dog? Probably didn't. I thought I had a picture of D-Dog. Anyway, they're releasing a brand new like super dog. He's going to be part of the Pet Avengers. This is going to be his first appearance. This is the Chang variant. So this is like a cover. I think it's like a cover B. For me, I like the way the cover looks for the Chang variant. But I should give you a heads up. Adam Kubert is doing a 1 in 25 ratio. The artwork is not released yet. If it gets released tonight, I'll put it on the official list tomorrow. But there is a 1 in 25 ratio variant. I don't think it's going to be a pretty big print run for Marvel Unleashed featuring the pets. Depending on the artwork, it might feature the new dog on it, D-Dog. But yeah, I just thought it'd be something cool to get a first appearance of a little niche character. You guys know how much I love niche characters. Speaking of niche characters, coming in at number 9. Look, sometimes what Marvel does is they'll do a series of variants in anticipation of something else. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Like they did this whole Planet of the Apes themed variant, like 6 months ago or whatever. Then they released Marvel Planet of the Apes. They're doing Miss Minute variants. I like the character Miss Minute. She has like all these different variants, so you can collect all her variants. It would be interesting if they actually did a Miss Minutes series. I like the character. If you haven't watched Loki's series on Disney Plus, it's awesome. And like Miss Minutes was the breakout character. She's like this little virtual AI character that she worked in the Time Variance Authority, and she kind of stole some of the scenes that she was in Miss Minutes. So yeah, Marvel's putting out all these Miss Minute variants, and I got a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Miss Minutes makes a surprise if they roll out a solo series. I have no inside information. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me. Who here has the timeless 2021 timeless Miss Minutes variant, first appearance in comic books? That's one of the key books. I want to say that was in my FOC list last year. I was doing a whole different show. That was on FOC at the beginning of 2022. They released her information like November of 2021. Book came out at the beginning, timeless, Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes is making a comeback. Moving on to number, it's so damn, I know, dude. I can't wait for season 2, man. That's going to be so great. I'm excited. I just want to see the whole Kane dynasty and all of that. I've been reading a lot about what they're going to do in season 2, a lot of rumors and stuff. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Toom, you remember Miss Minutes. She made her debut on Timeless last year. All right, folks, coming in at number 8. Who actually read this book? I went into the shop and they had a pretty nice stack of Hunger and Dusk. All right, so guys, here. So check this out. Let me tell you guys something. 2 books that I recommended this year actually turned out to be really big sellers. One was Ambassadors. The other one was Hell to Pay. Hell to Pay is done by Charles Soule, the same guy who did the phenomenal 8 Billion Genies. And for Ambassadors and Hell to Pay, I was saying 2 of the reasons I liked them because they were written by 2 of my favorite writers, and the fact that they featured some really kick-ass artwork. The Hunger and the Dusk was my number 1 pick on my FOC Top 10 4 weeks ago. It debuted this week. I'm going to do a review on Instagram. Absolutely amazing book. It's a great story. The artwork is incredible. The print runs are kind of medium. They're pretty good. It's done by IDW. They have amazing covers, all the ratios. I got the whole pack for number 1, all the covers. I saw this happen twice. Again, I saw it happen with Ambassadors. I saw it happen with Hell to Pay. I wouldn't be shocked if this really caught on. It has kind of a vibe similar to maybe Saga, something like that. A little bit like Ambassadors. If you're into fantasy and stuff, you absolutely should read this book for no other reason, just to enjoy the artwork and enjoy the story. Yeah, John, a few of the other miscellaneous variants last. Yeah. So a repeat. That's a repeat because the kind of like when they do when Alex Ross does his covers. The covers they roll them out like once a month, so they pop up on FOC. So yeah, Miss Minutes. The last batch was on the last FOC because that's the date to order them, and then this more current batch is gonna maybe make an appearance and in the next show. But yeah, this is one I highly recommend. The Hunger and the Dust, only because it's a badass book. Coming in at number 7. If anybody is reading Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, you already know what time it is. From what I understand, this is the final issue. This is just an absolutely awesome cover, jet black cover. I always say you want to pre-order a tough cover. You always want to pre-order, hate to say it, especially if it's on Marvel's paper. If it's on Marvel Comics paper, you kind of want to pre-order them because you don't want this book to hit the shelf and then get all shelf bent and wrinkled up and, on a black cover like this. I usually pre-order 2 or 3 copies and kind of, just go with the best one. That's like the best way to do a cover play, especially if you want to get a high grade. Beautiful cover, final issue. Who knows what Chip Zdarsky might end up doing on this last issue. It's going to be, it could be pretty intense, but that cover is just, yeah, you just saw that on the other day meeting. Yeah, man. Yeah. The thing is, when you have a favorite writer, you just want them to keep writing forever, right? It kind of sucks, but yeah, man. Same here, man. Pre-order, got a couple coming. So yeah, this for me was absolutely going to make the top 10 list. I saw this cover. I saw it was the last issue. I was like, oh yeah. My only thing, I wasn't sure where to rank it, but I will tell you right now, this list only gets better by the number. Now, curious to know what you guys think about this next book. Depending on the senses of how you feel about this character, I'm a firm believer in it. Okay, I'm a firm believer in this book. I'm a firm believer in this character. I mean, they're making all the waves. The sales are through the roof. There's no denying that. Multiple prints. All right. And I don't know who actually read the story. I like this story a lot. Edge of Spider-Verse number 3. This was Spider-Boy Bailey's first solo story. All right, had a soft new character introduction with another character, but this is the second print. If you read the story, this is a featured artwork from the story. If you follow me, I love second prints if the artwork is good. I don't mind certain second prints, but I prefer that it has like a new scheme or a new color scheme. Or actually, I prefer original artwork. But I like this issue so much because it gave a little bit of more information about the mystery of Spider-Boy. So yeah, number 6, Edge of Spider-Verse, number 3, second print. Who read this story? I liked it a lot. I like the character Bailey. Oh my goodness! If you've read the new, I think it was Spider-Man 10, you saw some of the powers he has. I don't even want to give it away. This kid Spider-Boy is vastly different from probably every other Spider person other than Spider Buggy, I guess. He's one of the more unique characters. That being said, yeah, I'm about to double down. Coming in number 5, Spider-Man 11. Look, if you read Spider-Man 9, if you read Spider-Man 10, okay, Peter Parker is just not sold on this character at all. But if you ask Bailey, he'll tell you that he's been a part of Peter Parker's life for years. So I want to know you guys' theories I read it, but not Spider-Man 9. Well, yeah, read Spider-Man 9, read Spider-Man 10. Put you guys in the comments if you care to. I want to know some of your theories about what you think Spider-Boy, what it is. I think the evil Spider-Verse chick, the giant Spider-Verse chick, I forgot her name. I think she did some kind of spell, like a Doctor Strange spell, where she erased Spider-Boy's memory from everyone else. Or maybe Doctor Strange did it, a la Spider-Man, what was it, No Way Home? When he erased everyone, he made one forget that Peter Parker's Spider. Someone cast a massive spell. Could be Doctor Strange, could be Scarlet Witch, could have been the evil Spider-Verse chick. I think someone cast a spell that made everyone forget about this Spider-Boy character, and they're going to retcon him a la Sentry. That's what I think happened. So I think it's very cool to see them introducing for the first time this brand new character. He's convinced that he's been with Peter Parker forever. Peter Parker's like, I don't know who the hell you are. I love the story. I love seeing the mystery unravel. Main cover, Spider-Man 11. I think it's a must-have. I think Spider-Man 7's a great long-term hold as his introduction. I feel like everyone should go out and get his early copies. Sometimes when you're in the middle of history as it's happening, it's kind of hard to gauge where it's going, but play it safe. Go find them cheap. And that's the thing. I showed you guys the market report. Oh, the market has calmed down since then. Like, the whole market's calmed down. All those were all the high marks. That the market's cooled off. So you can go grab all these books. I might go back out into the market and grab a bunch of number 7s for like $15, $20 and build it up. All right, coming in at number 4. I think you guys are going to absolutely love this next book. This is pure cover fire. Coming in at number 4, Jesus Christ. God dang it, that cover's so spicy. That is so dope. I love this cover. Who has read Captain Marvel Dark Tempest besides me? I read it. Love the story. Great story. Carol Danvers' solo story. It's a really good story. So, very sneaky. It introduced 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually introduces 5 brand new characters. Go to your comic shop. Go get Dark Tempest number 1, still sitting on shelves. It introduces 5 brand new characters, a new villain, and 4 teenagers. So here's the scoop. If you don't know, these kids, if you read the book, you know this, but so these teenagers got kind of sucked into this adventure with Captain Marvel, and they're going to be like transformed into superheroes. They're going to become Captain Marvel's like teen superhero corps. Yeah, that's coming. Like, I think in issue number 2. So what you're looking at here, this is actually issue number 1, second printing. Beautiful cover. Derek Chu, I think if I remember correctly, this was in my FOC top 10 as a God, was this in my top 10? Oh, yeah. I had the Rose Besh variant for issue number 2, but this is the second print of issue number 1. Amazing cover. I like. Oh, bro, you ain't lying, dude. Derek Chu. Here's the thing about Derek Chu. He knows how to draw the hell out of comic book women. My goodness, bruh. Yo, like, that sash is holding on for dear life. It is like hips ahoy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I love how, if you see the cover for the original Derek Chu for issue 1, they totally redid the format. So like, she's busting out, taking center stage. I think the second print is worth going out and getting a copy. I'm going to order some myself. I absolutely love this. I'm actually surprised that this is on open order. This is open order retail. This could have easily been a ratio. This could have been a 1 in 25 ratio, but this is open order retail. Key book, beautiful cover. And here we go with the top 3. Coming in at number 3, there's someone that you've seen before. If you are a fan. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout out to the homie on Instagram. Let me pull this up real quick. You guys need to know this. Because like I always say, there's always breaking news. Even during the show, there's like breaking news. Oh, yeah, by the way, you can follow me on Instagram at the Bad Boy Nerd. That's easy to find. But yeah, junk chat, man. Junk chat let me know that SDCC is putting out a Dungeons and Dragons exclusive. So yeah, that's happening. I might get it, maybe not. IDW does these endless summers. All right, it's for the fans. But me being a huge fan of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, this is an absolute must-have. This could have been my number 1, except number 1 is number 1. And number 2 is dope. So it got bumped down to number 3. But yeah, IDW, again, low print runs. This one right here that you're looking at, you see the RI. You see that? RI, retail incentive. Guys, this is a rare 1 in 25 ratio. If anyone's ever follows any IDW, they rarely do a 1 in 25 ratio on any of their titles. Especially for like Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, they usually do 1 in 10s. Sometimes they do 1 in 25s, but not often. So for this one to roll out, if you think the 1 in 10 was hard to find, I'm going to suggest you order this like right now. Like you should be ordering it during the show. I haven't even checked the market yet to see what they're going for. I'm going to order, hopefully find it at ratio price. But yeah, they're doing a cover A, a cover B, a 1 in 10, and this one right here, a rare IDW 125 for Endless Summers. These are one shots. Yeah, man, the market for these could be strong. I think there's got to be a reason why they're reintroducing these classic characters from the 1980s and bringing them back out into the public. What do you guys think? I think, especially when you saw Honor Among Thieves, the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was pretty good, and they did a cameo. I think Hasbro, or I don't know whoever does this cartoon D&D. Yeah, D&D. I don't know who owns D&D now, Dungeons and Dragons. I think they are building up, bringing these characters back out. So yeah, this right here, number 3. Number 2. So today was a big day because Moon Knight 25 came out. It's an epic 100-page book or some insane number of pages. That was one of my top picks. Guys, did you guys get the JTC negative? Oh my goodness. Anyway, What If Dark Moon Knight? Tell me you guys are tracking this. This is a what if, and we already know. We know the history of what ifs. We know how they can change in the market. All right. Cover A features the new Moon Knight character. Basically, in this story, Mark Spector dies, and Khonshu picks a new fist, and her name is Luminary. Yeah, I think this is an easy spec, okay? I think this is an easy spec. I also love this Magno variant that features what might be an alternative Werewolf by Night. Don't quote me. But if it is, first cover appearance, if that's the case, because this is a what if, it's very possible this could be a different Werewolf by Night. Why take a chance? Who is that said you didn't pull the trigger? Toon, don't regret it. It's too easy. Get the main cover. Moon Knight, new character. Get the other variant. Werewolf by Night feature. Just go ahead, get both of them. New characters. All right. What if? Dope. Lot of speculation for Moon Knight going on. The new character she debuted, and then Scarlet Scarab or whatever. She's coming out with her own book. So yeah, Moonlight's got a lot of momentum right now. Absolutely. Again, this would have been number one this week, except number one is number one. And there you go. What did he say? Me. All right, let's get the official number one. We gotta do it like this. Yeah, it's cheesy, but so what? We gotta have it. Here we go. Number one. It's actually so obvious. It's almost anticlimactic. Everyone's been tracking this book for like the past 3 months, right? You guys have been tracking this, right? You already know about Venom Boy. I think it was announced, 3 months ago? So yeah, this is the F.O.C. Death of the Venomverse. This is Venom Boy's appearance. I just make the list. I don't control the market. So I have no idea how this one is going to perform. However, it is a new character. People kind of love kid characters, Kid Venom, Kid Vision. You heard it here. Probably know about it, but yeah, Kid Vision. Kid Venom's coming out. But if you look close enough, you'll see that I have two covers because, not to be outdone, dude, Derek Chu drops this crazy cover. This isn't even a retail incentive. This isn't even an exclusive. For what I've seen, this is on open order, dude. Yo, that Derek Chu is nuts, man. Yeah, I was, yeah, that's open order. Derek Chu variant. Dude, that is sick, man. Vecchio variant. First appearance of Venom Boy, first cover. We'll see what it does. But man, you can't even sleep on that Derek Chu, though. Matter of fact, let's get a closer look at that. I think that deserves a closer look. Let's pull that up. Death of Venomverse. I feel like you guys really need to see this cover. This cover's sick. I think the Vecchio variant's a given. But this joint right here, man, come on. Yo. Chu is a beast. Chu is a beast. Yo, man. You want to talk about thick venom? I work out. Man, those are some killer legs on this. Dude, I'm talking about a comic book symbiote. But anyway, this is a great cover. This is awesome. Derek Chu. So this week is kind of a number 1A and a number 1B. So Vecchio's Venom Boy is 1A. Chu variant is 1B. I think they're both hot. I'm putting in orders for both of them. Let me know what you thought about the list. Let's review it real quick. Coming in at number 10, Marvel's Unleashed. Pet Avengers are back, and they are introducing a new super pet named D-Dog. And by the way, the artwork's out for him. Coming in at number 9, the latest batch of Miss Minutes variants. She's appearing in different books. I think something's in the works. I think Miss Minutes might have her own little something coming up. Number 8, The Hunger and the Dusk. Phenomenal book. And here's the thing. Right now, people are selling these so cheap. You can get all the ratio variants. I've seen people selling these on eBay. The 1 in 10, the 125, the 150, the gold one for like $80 for the whole set. $50, $60. I actually went and bought a set. I'm like, If you're going to take this amazing book and sell it cheap like that, I'll buy it. Coming in at number 7, final issue of Zdarsky's awesome Daredevil run. Tough black cover. Put your pre-orders in for it. Coming in at number 6, yep, Spider-Boy. Can't get away from him. Edge of Spider-Verse, number 3, second printing. Coming in at, again, doubling down. Spider-Man 11, main cover, The Mystery of Bailey. Oh, by the way, he's getting his own series coming out later this year. Yeah, Humberto Ramos. Number 4. Guys, go read Dark Tempest, number 1. A solid story, intro of new characters, quiet key book. Second print, Derek Chu again. Thick Tempest. That sash is hanging on for dear life. Yeah, she's not skipping leg day, and neither is the female Venom. Coming in at number 3. You guys know how I feel about this Dungeons and Dragons run. Endless Summer, a rare IDW 125. Going to be a tough one right there, guys. It's not going to be a lot of these out there on the market. If you're a fan, you absolutely have to get this. Number 2, a lot of momentum with Moon Knight. What If Dark, Luminary. And then again, Werewolf cover. I don't know. No regrets, Tomb. No regrets on that. Order it. And then number 1. Yeah, this Venom's definitely not skipping leg day. Boy Venom, Vecchio variant. Get them both. Get them both. Great covers. Thank you, Tall Dan. Dudes, great show. If you got here late, I did a market update earlier. Basically, I reviewed most of the books that I featured just this year. What is this, July 13th? So from January to July, the first 7 months, I reviewed the top performing books that were specifically on my FOCs. Oh yeah, and here's something. I'm being a little honorary right now when I say this, and I admit it right now. I'm gonna close out the show with this. I'm being honorary when I say this. A lot of my books end up on the CBSI Hot 10 list. If you don't know what the CBSI Hot 10 list is, I will gladly show you. I actually made a comment on their page. Again, I was being a little honorary. I was like, hey man, your Hot 10 list looks a lot like my FOC list. There it is, Yoda Okazaki, number 2, that was on my list. Hollow's Eve, that was on my list. Batman Incorporated, that was on my list. FOC Top 10. Who remembers the She-Hulk? Now, I didn't do She-Hulk. That she didn't make the list. Spider-Man, Ramos, Humberto. Yeah, but if you follow CBSI, a lot of they put out their hot top 10 after the books hit the market. Obviously, I'm doing an FOC top 10 a month in advance. So if you follow them on Instagram, they usually put out their top 10 list, usually on like a Thursday or Friday on Instagram. It might be there now because they collect all the market data. Most of the time, 9.9 times out of 10, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of my FOC top 10s are on their hot 10 list, which comes out a month later. So this is why we do this. We do this so we don't have to go out scrambling trying to find key books. So thank you guys for hanging out with me live. The show, you can go back and review the show, all that. As usual, I'm going to put the list on Instagram. It'll be up tomorrow. Full list with the notes, okay? With the notes. I always put the notes underneath. Yeah, I'll just show you. I got to do this for people who don't follow me all the time. So, assuming that someone's watching me for the first time, I do the show And then I put the list up every Friday. So here you go. Here's my list. This is how my Instagram page looks. All right. There, that's my Instagram page. So you see everything that I'm talking about is on my page. There's My Little Pony. There's the Extreme. These are all pictures of all the books I own. There's this Dr. Afra, Marquez, Betty and Veronica. Didn't even talk about them. But here's an example. Here's an example of an FOC top 10 list. So if you watch the show, okay, all the books make my page afterwards. That's the Spider-Man Gala third print. Okay, that came out today. A lot of people, I saw this number 4 on my list. I saw a lot of people got their copy. Yeah, that was actually a cool book. The ink variant. Okay, that was my number 1 pick. All right, but right here, look to the right. Look to the right of the pictures. These are my notes. I always put notes to explain why I picked the book. So it's not like a shot in the dark. You know, I'm not just throwing books out there and seeing what's happening. All right, yeah, thanks, Toom. Hey, it's cool to have you, man. You're a cool guy. I like when you hang out. I love your commentary on Instagram. But yeah, now you got to look. So for those who don't know, on my Instagram page, I always put little notes. The notes that I write for my page is actually ridiculous. It's insane. But I put like a summary. So, for example, and I'll show you again. I'm gonna show you this, and then I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna get out again. Thanks for hanging out. But here's a perfect example of when I put up a list, and then I explain why, and then I'm gonna close out the show. All right, here we go. Here we are, right here. All right. So for Creed, you know, it's tied into the movie. It actually debuted new characters, and it was officially featured, sanctioned by Michael B. Jordan. So I was saying, for me, Creed was number 1 that week because it's a direct movie adaptation tie-in. If and when they make a movie featuring his daughter, Amara Creed, it's probably going to be the story from this comic book. So for me, this is an easy spec. Guys, I picked Creed number 1 this week. Look who was number 2. Venomverse was number 2 to Creed. Look who's number 3. This came out today. Moon Knight 25 JTC. This is on shelves today. Sick cover. Sick cover. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how I pick books and why I picked them and why they make my list. So thanks for hanging out. Great show. A lot of information. Yeah, hey, do like a lot of people do. Hit me up in the DMs. Leave comments. I'm on Instagram all day. All I do is talk about comic books and read comic books, even when I'm at work. So hit me up, leave a comment, leave a message. The list will be up sometime tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I got a big surprise in our next show, so you got to come check that out. Peace.